New shoes instant mood killer, blisters, and the urge to head straight home? Take a breath. There is footwear that looks impressive without making you suffer. I'll show you in a second. For a long time, comfortable shoes were treated as a secondary concern. The mindset was simple. We'll endure it as long as it looks good. But let's be honest, a day that starts in an uncomfortable pair rarely ends well. First, there's a bit of pressure, then I'll walk just a little more. And by evening, you're no longer thinking about meetings or plans. You're thinking about how fast you can get home and take off those so-called works of art. The funny thing is, we often convince ourselves it'll be fine. In the store, everything feels perfect. Good lighting, a mirror, smooth floors, a few steps back and forth, and it seems okay. Real life, however, begins the moment you walk out the door. Stairs, pavement, hours on your feet, that's when shoes reveal their true nature. And if they're uncomfortable, they don't stand a chance. It's important to understand one simple thing. Comfort isn't about age, and it's not about giving up on style. It's about taking care of yourself. Comfortable shoes don't have to look orthopedic or boring. Today, there are plenty of options that feel modern and polished without asking you to sacrifice how you feel. When shoes are truly comfortable, you notice it almost immediately. There's no urge to change them after an hour, no constant monitoring of every step. You just walk and that's it. Your attention is freed up, your mood improves, and even your walk becomes more confident. And that, by the way, always looks stylish regardless of brands or trends. Many people are surprised to learn that comfort directly affects your overall appearance. When nothing pinches or rubs, your posture straightens and your movements become calmer. No ultra-trendy pair can create that effect if all you want to do in them is sit still and not move. The good news is that today you no longer have to choose between pretty and comfortable. The market has long realized that people are tired of putting up with discomfort and has offered solutions for every taste from sporty to elegant, from summer styles to year-round options. The key is knowing where to look and what to choose. And that's where it gets interesting. Because comfortable shoes aren't one specific model, they're a whole set of smart options for different situations. Some work best for active days, others for work, and others for walks and social plans. Let's break down the most versatile, truly reliable choices for everyday life without compromises. Let's start with the most universal option, one that Davno stepped far beyond the gym. Modern sneakers and trainers are no longer just for running or workouts. Today, they come in clean, stylish designs that pair easily with jeans, dresses, and even more structured outfits. Their main advantage is cushioning and proper foot support. Your feet don't feel tired even after a long day, and a neutral, detail-free design allows the pair to fit into almost any wardrobe. No wonder so many people call them shoes for every occasion. If you want something lighter and more breathable, especially in warmer weather, sandals come to the forefront. Not the vacation-only kind, but thoughtfully designed everyday pairs. Comfortable sandals let your feet breathe while still holding them securely in place. Adjustable straps, cushioned footbeds, and stable soles solve several problems at once. The result is footwear you can walk in, run errands in, and stay on your feet all day without overthinking every step. Next up is an option for those who appreciate clean lines and minimalism. Loafers and moccasins look polished, yet when made well, feel almost like slippers. They're loved for their simplicity. Slip them on and go. No laces, no fuss. A good pair with a soft interior and flexible sole works perfectly for the office, meetings, and city walks. This is footwear that looks smart, without requiring you to suffer for the sake of style. Ballet flats and similar lightweight styles deserve special attention. Yes, they have a reputation for being basic, but that's exactly where their strength lies. Modern versions have moved far beyond thin soles and stiff materials. Today, they're comfortable, softly structured shoes that save the day when you want a feminine look without heels or extra strain. The key is not cutting corners on quality. A good flat feels right immediately, while a bad one makes itself known within half an hour. And finally, when the weather turns unpredictable or an outfit calls for something more structured, comfortable boots come to the rescue. Comfort is especially important here since these are shoes we tend to wear often and for long periods. The best models feature stable soles, soft linings, and a proper fit. They don't pinch, rub, or turn a walk into a test of endurance. Plus, boots pair easily with everything from jeans to dresses, making them a true wardrobe lifesaver. Looking at this list as a whole, one thing becomes clear. Comfortable shoes aren't about one perfect pair, but about several formats for different needs. Sometimes you need lightness, sometimes support, sometimes versatility. And the better you understand these differences, the easier it is to make the right choice. But that leads to a logical question. How do you tell a truly comfortable pair from one that just looks good on the shelf? Because appearance alone isn't enough. This is where the details matter. The first thing to pay attention to is the insole, the part many people don't even look at, and they should. A good insole should be cushioned but not spongy, with light support for the foot. If it collapses instantly when pressed and doesn't bounce back, your feet will tire quickly. Comfort starts right here. The second key point is the sole. Too thin and you'll feel every pebble. Too stiff and your walk becomes awkward and rigid. The ideal sole is flexible yet stable. Try gently bending the shoe in your hands. If it doesn't bend at all or folds like a piece of fabric, that's a red flag. A good sole works with your foot, not against it. Material also plays a huge role. Breathable surfaces keep your feet comfortable even in warm weather, while soft linings reduce the risk of blisters. You don't have to chase luxury brands, but the material shouldn't feel stiff or plasticky. If a shoe feels rough in the store, it's unlikely to soften over time. Fit and support deserve their own mention. Laces, straps, elastic panels, and buckles aren't just decorative. They're there to help the shoe fit your foot properly. If your foot slides around or, on the contrary, feels squeezed, no cushioned insole will save the situation. The ability to adjust the fit is a major plus, especially if your feet tend to swell by evening. A small but very important tip: try shoes on later in the day. By then, your feet are slightly tired and a bit larger. If the shoes still feel comfortable at that point, they're likely a great match. And don't be shy, walk around, stand still, take a few extra steps. Shoes shouldn't break in later. They're either comfortable right away or they're not. In the end, it all comes down to a simple principle. Don't trust your eyes alone. A beautiful design is nice, but how you feel matters more. When you know what to look for, choosing becomes easier, and the number of disappointments drops dramatically. Still, even knowing the rules, many people keep making the same mistakes. That's why it's worth talking separately about the most common ones that cause comfortable shoes to suddenly stop being comfortable. The first and most popular mistake is buying shoes for later. A little tight? They'll break in. Slight pressure on the side, I'll get used to it. Unfortunately, shoes almost never change their personality. If they already raised doubts in the store, those doubts will only grow at home. A comfortable pair doesn't require patience, it's clear from the start. The second trap is choosing with your eyes only. Pretty? Trendy? Everyone's wearing them? Into the cart they go, while common sense takes a short break. The problem is, your feet don't know what's trending. They care about weight distribution, rubbing edges, and whether the foot slides inside. When appearance becomes the only criterion, comfort usually gets lost along the way. Another common mistake is ignoring your lifestyle. Shoes for occasional walks and shoes for an active day are two very different things, even if they look similar. If you walk a lot, stand often, or are constantly on the move, a just-for-looks pair will give up quickly. Comfort should always match real life, not an idealized picture in your head. Many people also forget about sizing, relying on a familiar number. But feet can change, depending on the season, activity level, and even the time of day. Sometimes trying the neighboring size or a different width can completely change how a shoe feels. The stubborn "I always wear this size" approach often works against us. And of course, saving money in the wrong place deserves a mention. Very cheap shoes can look appealing, but that often comes at the cost of materials and construction. The result is predictable: stiff edges, poor insoles, and tired feet after just a couple of hours. This doesn't mean you have to buy the most expensive option. It means you should understand what you're paying for. When you put it all together, it becomes obvious. Comfort doesn't disappear suddenly. It's lost through a chain of small decisions. The good news is that these mistakes are easy to avoid with a slightly more mindful approach. And then comes the fun part: because comfortable shoes can be not only worn but styled beautifully, so your outfits look modern and polished, not just practical. There's a persistent myth that comfortable shoes automatically make an outfit boring. In reality, it's quite the opposite. A well-chosen pair becomes a calm, confident foundation for the entire look, not its weak point. In everyday outfits, sneakers, trainers, loafers, and soft ballet flats work perfectly with wardrobe basics jeans, simple pants, skirts, and straight-cut dresses. The rule is simple. The cleaner the shoe, the easier it is to style. Neutral colors, tidy shapes, and minimal details make a pair versatile and visually more expensive. Comfortable shoes fit seamlessly into more polished, work-appropriate outfits. As well, you just need to place the accents correctly. Loafers, neat boots, or minimalist sneakers pair beautifully with blazers, tailored pants, and midi skirts. The look feels modern and fresh, not overloaded, and most importantly, you'll actually make it through the day without dreaming of taking your shoes off at the first chance. Lightweight sandals and open styles feel right at home in summer outfits. Dresses, shorts, relaxed pants, all of these pair effortlessly with comfortable shoes when the design is clean and matches the overall vibe. Here, it's especially important that the footwear doesn't compete with the outfit, but complements it, creating a sense of ease and freedom. Boots deserve a special mention. They're often seen as heavy, but comfortable models can easily become a stylish statement. They're worn with jeans, dresses, skirts, and even more feminine looks, thanks to contrast. This approach adds interest and energy to an outfit, avoiding that overly proper feel. One more crucial point is confidence. When your shoes aren't constantly distracting you with discomfort, it shows immediately. You move more freely, stand taller, and look more relaxed, and that always reads as style. Sometimes it's comfort that makes an outfit truly attractive, even when there's nothing complicated about it. Ultimately, it all comes down to balance. Comfortable shoes aren't a compromise, they're a smart choice that works for you. They can be fashionable, polished, and versatile when approached without extremes. And finally, a strong closing note, because once you know the options, the details, the mistakes, and the styling tricks, the most important thing remains how to choose the pair you actually want to live in, not just admire in your closet. In reality, it's much simpler than it seems. Comfortable shoes aren't about complex formulas or strict rules. They're about paying attention to yourself. When you choose a pair that truly fits you feel it right away. Your steps feel lighter, your movements freer, and your day calmer. The most important advice is to listen not to trends, but to your own ощущения. Fashion changes, recommendations get updated, but your feet are with you every day. If shoes are comfortable, you don't think about them every 10 minutes. You just live your life walking, meeting people, working, wandering around. That feeling of not noticing your shoes is the clearest sign of a great choice. There's no need to chase one universal perfect pair. It's far more practical to build a small collection of comfortable shoes for different situations. Active days, work, walks, social outings. This approach removes compromises and makes your wardrobe more functional. Each pair does its job and does it without unnecessary sacrifices. There's one more important element, pleasure. Shoes should be comfortable, but they should also make you happy visually. When you like what you're wearing, it affects your mood just as much as a good fit. The good news is that today these two qualities easily coexist in one pair. And one last friendly reminder, don't tolerate discomfort out of habit or because of other people's expectations. Choose shoes that make you want to keep going, not rush home as fast as possible. Your feet will thank you, and your style will only benefit. So next time you catch yourself thinking, beautiful but uncomfortable, just smile and walk past. Comfort stopped being a compromise a long time ago. It's the standard now.